If you haven't seen a lot of Godzilla movies, boy, do you have catching up to do before the release of the Godzilla-inspired Season 3 of Stranger Things. Luckily, thanks to an invention called pre-existing movies, we can go all the way back to 1956 for the first Godzilla film, Godzilla King of the Monsters. But before we do that, let's go back even further to 1954 for the first Godzilla film, Godzilla, what? I can't read that. Someone make a new version for American audiences and have it star a Canadian actor. Okay, I'm sure I can get the hang of this. The hell are they talking about here? I highly doubt that's all the dialogue in this film. Enough with the subtitling. Get me proper dubbing and get Kingston Confidential on the line stat. The original 1954 Godzilla film not only served as a very moody and artistic symbol of nuclear war and nuclear weaponry, the film impressed American producer Edward Barrison so much that he purchased the international rights to the film and commissioned a re-edit of the movie for a non-Japanese audience. The original film was directed by Ishiro Honda, and the new scenes were shot by Terry Morse. Also clearly Japanese. The new footage consisted of a plot starring Raymond Burr as a news reporter in Japan covering the disappearance of missing ships. The use of clever editing and body doubles made Burr interact with previously existing scenes, and much was done to match the lighting and quality of the original footage. This became the only version of the film that American audiences would get to know before the original version was given a 2004 re-release in North America. Many of its themes, such as Godzilla being a metaphor for nuclear weapons, was still present in the film, and if you don't get that, I'm going to condescendingly describe it to you until you do get it, 'cause that'll make you like the movie. But you can't just give the movie a new plot with a new lead character. You need to give it a new title as well. Really? King of the Monsters? Well, that's gonna be huge news to the other monsters like King Ghidorah, King Kong, and of course, King Ralph. Tokyo is shown to be in ruins after they somehow won the Super Bowl, and here is our star, Jerry Lewis. I'm kidding. Who is this reporter supposed to be again?
My name is Steve Martin.
Steve Martin? Well, I was close. Explains this intro.
I am not a bum. I'm a jerk.
Tokyo is destroyed. No one cares about your self-deprecation. This Chernobyl series is really disturbing, but I'm not sure if some of these actors are Ukrainian. This is Perry Mason's biggest case yet. Sure, everyone assumes that Godzilla is the culprit of this mass destruction, but has anyone checked the alibi of Titanosaurus? This new footage needs a bit of backstory.
When I think back, only a few days ago I was en route to Cairo, with a few days layover in Tokyo.
If you think monsters are bad, try a layover at an airport. This was the good old days when you could have a cigarette on a plane and lean all the way back to breathe smoke on the people behind you. Meanwhile, as this ship is on their way to a dated Popeye cartoon, tragedy strikes. Again, you're not even going to consider that that might have been Ibira. Steve is flying out on behalf of the United World News. Don't worry, the narration tells us everything.
This morning, it would have been impossible for anyone to convince me that I would ever see Tokyo like this again.
That's Bloomington, Illinois, asshole. You got on the wrong plane. There he meets with a member of the Japanese Security Defense Force, Martin Short. Even Steve looks like he needs subtitles.
この人はハワイから7号の飛行機で参りましたか?
はい、名前はスティーブ・マーティンです。
You're talking about me, aren't you? It's the hat, isn't it? It came with a free carton of Lucky Strikes. But this is no ordinary story of ships randomly catching on fire.
At 3:30 this morning, a ship from Tokyo was literally wiped from the surface of the ocean in a matter of seconds.
We're under attack from a monster known as hyperbole. Sometimes when Steve is inserted into scenes, he literally just asks for translations.
Mind telling me what they're discussing?
We're at a loss to explain how the ship could disappear so suddenly.
Oh, sure, but when I take a tiny Asian man with me to translate 13 assassins, I get thrown out of the theater. Great, here I am making jokes, and another ship caught fire.
Like a creeping illness, panic began to spread all over Japan.
So panic-stricken, they are calmly listening. No need to worry, folks. The Japanese Three Stooges have been saved.
Few survivors who had been found died in a matter of minutes from shock and strange burns.
Never mind. They died from shock and harsh insults towards each other. Where's Steve? I'm lost without him.
I had met Dr. Yamane through my friend Serizawa several years ago.
You have to take my word on that. We never share the frame with one another. Maybe you could have sent someone who speaks more than one language.
I'm afraid my Japanese is a little rusty.
Well, this version of the movie wouldn't exist without that sentence. These people have the right idea. If they swim to Canada, they can just live with Raymond Burr. But there's a survivor. Let's beat the hell out of him to vent our frustrations. He should have taken on that monster himself. Steve is not fitting in too well. Damn it, I'm watching this version so I don't have to read. The hell kind of news story is this?
And it gave me an opportunity to witness a rare ceremony. One that was all but forgotten.
I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like I'm watching the lost film Godzilla vs. Mondo Kane. This is the rare tribe that worships all images of Richard Nixon. Translation, please.
Did you hear that? Godzilla.
Thanks, the one word I did understand. It's when Steve lays down for his sleep cigarette that he realizes sleep cigarettes may have caused this. People forget that there's more than one deeper meaning behind these films, such as when Godzilla shows up to convince people that buying homeowners insurance is a really good thing.
It was more than wind, rain, and lightning. Much more.
Thank you. Now the surviving natives get to tell their own story, so we hear from Islanders Chevy Chase, George Carlin, and Eddie Murphy.
I have not been to the island myself.
Oh, thank God, someone who speaks dubbing. Good opportunity to have an intense conversation with the body double. And I think Steve's story may be getting away from him.
At the moment, they seemed more interested in each other. It was the usual triangle. When I'd last seen Emiko, she had just become engaged to Dr. Serizawa.
Stupid disaster movies always cramming in love triangles in their narration with a different actor. Good news, everyone, the monster is gone. But bad news, we got cancer. You must be the secretary of Don't Touch That.
A trilobite, a three-winged worm which was thought to be extinct. Don't hold it in your bare hands.
Dude, it's the 50s. It's okay to play with radioactive stuff. Let's go inspect. Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't get too close, we'll end up running into the other footage. Now we finally get a look at our monster. This village is under attack by a giant Richard Harrison demanding that he too be spliced into the film. That's the look I would have, mild confusion. On the plus side, it's a good chance to pitch your new theme park to investors. Say what you will about Godzilla, he knows how to pose for an epic introspective family photo. Gotta figure out a way to sneak that picture out of the country and put it on my piano. We learn Godzilla may have been caused by repeated experiments with H-bombs, so best get the news out fast to newspaper editor John Belushi. But first, let's call Godfrey Ho to get advice on splicing together a couple of phone calls, and for juicy gossip.
The marriage between Emiko and Dr. Serizawa had been arranged when they were both children. It proved difficult for her to tell him that she was going to marry Ogata.
Your story is getting away from you again. I get it, Steve. You want to write for Star Magazine. I feel like I should be paying attention here.
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, well, forget about it then. I guess I should just watch the movie instead. Damn it, you're supposed to put the World War II news before the movie. What's gonna happen next? Is the climax gonna be interrupted by a Bugs Bunny cartoon? And is anyone bothered to ask bad advice, Barry?
They are so wrong. Godzilla should not be destroyed.
Exactly. We have dozens more sequels. Unfortunately, that means that Godzilla is going to ruin Mardi Gras.
Even celebration. But both the hope and celebration were short-lived.
Short-lived is Japanese for short-lived. At least this gives you a hell of a story for your next reunion. The economy is still going strong, though, as extra trucks and tanks are outsourced to other countries to be blown up in random scenes from Incheon. Things are so lame around the house, they're wishing for a monster invasion or a love story.
I couldn't tell Dr. Sarazawa about us.
I understand, Emiko.
Come for the monsters, stay for the passive-aggressive romance. Godzilla is making his major strike on the city, and wouldn't it be something if this is what killed him? Here we have plenty of shots that are creepier, moodier, and more impressive than any of that CGI used in the current big-budget remake Palms. And what the hell are you looking at? If you think this train crash is rough, Godzilla is going to be tangled in these wires for hours. If you don't want Godzilla to eat a train, don't make it look so much like a Charleston Chew. Okay, keep looking concerned, Raymond, and action.
But he will be back.
There's another mystery for Perry Mason. Who said that?
I'm just on my way to Taco Bell. They're sponsoring this one too, right?
Godzilla's radiation is having an effect. When they look out the window, they can see everything from any height. Who needs to move to another location? And throw those binoculars out. The view itself zooms in. And would you mind getting out of here, Loch Ness Monster? We're waiting for Godzilla to show up. So many of these people fleeing to Taiwan, when unfortunately, they'll have to deal with their monster, Mazla the Gigantic Serpent. With Pierre Kirby in the role of Steve Martin.
George, here in Tokyo, time has been turned back 2 million years.
Oh, the time difference between Japan and Chicago isn't that big. Little do they know that electric shocks to the nipples are Godzilla's fetish. And it was Godzilla who all along started the polar vortex. He does reach to Chicago. All this horrific monster imagery, it's causing Steve to be only slightly more concerned. This man could shrug off the bomb drop scenes from the day after. How tall is this building that you're in that Godzilla appears to be below you? I suppose this shot settles it. Godzilla is the guilty one. You can close that case file, Perry. But I'm here for that sexy Godzilla roar. Where is it? Much like when your wife has a sexy, throaty, cold voice.
Frozen corn and a side of mashed potatoes.
Oh. Ain't nothing gonna interrupt this action. Damn it, who spliced together this film reel? The shots range from disturbing to, I really want this as a painting in my house. That, or when he destroys the subtitling tower. I suppose there isn't much more to this news story.
This is it, George. Steve Martin signing off from Tokyo, Japan.
Welcome to Wild and Crazy Guys! Godzilla is gone from causing destruction to just plain old being a dick. There's not even anyone on that bridge. What causes him to leave is that he really isn't much for 4th of July parties. He's gonna use more of his radioactive powers to set the movie back to the beginning. Steve may have injuries, but he does know a good eye patch guy. He's in bad shape. He's got to get Citizen Gilda Radner to take over the narration.
When he came upon a terrible chemical discovery, a way to destroy all oxygen and water.
Oh no, you're not destroying ocean life. You're not taking Long John Silver's away from me. The only thing that can stop Godzilla is an oxygen destroyer. The producers are really kicking themselves for not splicing in John Carradine as the mad scientist. By the way, Dr. No versus Emilio Largo is not the versus movie I signed up for with this. Is he gonna give him the oxygen destroyer or not?
Have you decided?
Yes.
Sweet. Even the Steve footage deserves a front row seat to watch Godzilla be destroyed once and for all.
Ugh, it's 6 in the morning. Wake me up when Live with Kelly and Ryan is on. Hey, are you trying to kill my lunch with that weapon? I just cleaned this place too.
This weapon may destroy Godzilla, but it's only gonna piss off Gamera thanks to his protective shell. Where's my play-by-play? Who are you talking about? Great, all you did was give Godzilla's home a hot tub he's wanted for years, and now he's getting it for free, with some side effects. I bet he never comes back. And now the world is safe from monsters and newly inserted movie footage.
The menace was gone, but the whole world could wake up and live again.
Well, that was no parenthood. But this version of Godzilla is still a very important film in Godzilla history. It's a beloved classic that was not only a major hit upon release, but introduced new audiences to Godzilla and was a staple on cable television for years to come. It was the first major US movie release to star Japanese people in heroic roles and show them as victims of destruction. The movie also introduced us to the Steve universe, a world of movies featuring American characters named Steve inserted into foreign stories. While at this point Japan had already released a sequel a year earlier with Godzilla Raids Again, it wouldn't be the last time we would hear from Steve. In 1977, a re-release of the film, frequently called Godzilla, turned up. The film was a colorized version headed by Italian director Luigi Cozzi of Hercules and Star Crash. It's the perfect version if you ever wanted to see what the movie looked like if Godzilla leaked radioactive piss on it. Plus, Raymond Burr and Steve himself would be back in the re-edit of Return of Godzilla called Godzilla 1985. But the way my show goes, personally, I'm waiting for the mashup of Godzilla versus Godzilla. Do you know how long it took me to make that picture? I'm talking like minutes!
And thanks, Tomo.
So long, Steve.
Sayonara.